Welcome back to Built to Ship, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with founders and product leaders shipping real AI products into the world. Today, I'm joined by Alex, head of product at Vama and co founder at Flexi. Vama is a platform that blends instant messaging with secure payments and fintech infrastructure to create a unified user experience. Alex has a deep background in digital product leadership and is now steering Vama strategy and execution along with leading product and starting up Flexi. Alex, great to have you here.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to start out with your background. What were you doing before the current roles that you're in, and then tell us a bit about um, each of the two companies that you're working with and the projects that you've got going on there.
Yeah, with pleasure. So I started many years ago as a startup entrepreneur. So I was launching startups. Ended up selling one of them to a larger corporation. That was like my first gig in a big company where I learned how to scale things up. Since then, I've been working in several industries. I've been working in telco for many years. I've been working for the Walt Disney in the capacity of their chief business developer officer in one of the regions. And lately, for the last many years, I've been working in a fintech primarily. In my roles, I was always the guy who was kind of in those big corporations. My job was to make a shift from the a traditional way of doing business to a more digital way of doing business. And in this capacity, I was always kind of starting to build a digital arm of things, but ending up changing the entire product production cycle because the digital world changes it for everybody, not only for those who are doing stuff in the digital space. And obviously, my main focus always was around data and data structure and how we can utilize it. And that's why, naturally, in the era of AI, I've been working on AI projects quite a lot.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, talk about digital transformation opportunity with AI. That's got to be a big change for a lot of businesses, and probably extremely helpful that you have that background to bring to this new transformation. So tell me what gave you and your co-founders the idea for Flexi, and how did you get involved with Vama?
So let's talk Fluxy first. Fluxy kind of product that was created from the changing legal environment, just from the fact that the digital era is changing many ways, and especially the way how the information flows. And when we're talking about any production cycle nowadays, I don't know, the sweatshirt, whatever you have, you can now have access to the every single detail of where the materials were sourced, what was the pathway when it was produced, so when it was produced, how it was produced, how do I need to utilize it, do I need to go and recycle it, when, how, what is the closest location. So all of this information now can be streamlined and combined all together. And there is an initiative started in Europe, and it is followed by the very similar initiative in the United States called the Digital Product Passport, which basically creates the unified way of transferring information about all the consumer products that will be helpful not only to the end customer with the barcode that they can read with your smartphone and get a nice page with all the information that you want to know, and maybe sometimes you don't want to know, but you will know it anyways. But also for the customs, for the logistical networks and everything in between. So that's where the Foxy comes in. So basically, Foxy is the digital product passport operator built especially for those smaller companies which don't have a large ERP systems, very smart product catalogs and things like that. And for them, to be compliant with this new regulation is somewhat of a hassle. So we build a solution that make it hassle-free for them, and allows them to create those digital passports really relatively easy, and sometimes with the help of AI, just like a couple of pictures made of your product will create you the entire digital product passport. That's the Fluxy. Vama is a total different thing. I joined Vama as head of product at a stage where company started to scale up. It was initially created as an idea of this like combination of payments and the communication, but obviously the communication part of things is something that you can built relatively quick, not relatively good. That takes time, but relatively quick because it's not licensed like a financial part. So I joined the company when we started to transition, like got our first partnership with a cross-river bank in the United States, and now we have like a full-scale wallet built in within the communication suite. But essentially, I strongly believe that this is exactly the way how technology disrupts the things that like we used to have them. So because honestly, every single financial transaction, especially when we're talking about a peer-to-peer financial transaction, it's always a conversation. Either that's me paying you back for lunch we had together, or you sending money to your relatives, or you paying your carpenter for some job. It's always communication, always some messaging before the transaction. So why you should go from one application to another to do the both sides of it. So if you have a communication here, you talk here, you call here, why not just send money here right away and have this experience of this two blue check marks when you know that not only your payment was received, but the receiver party already saw that it's on their account. You don't need to do the screenshot, you don't need to send the confirmation, you don't need to ask questions. And obviously there is like enormous part for the agentic AI to be helpful for you and all those communications, especially those around the money, to become more effective. And that's exactly what we're building in Vama.
Great. Yeah, I love the distribution, the breadth, and difference between the two products. You probably get a lot of different angles of where you could use AI. Let's get into that next. You mentioned lots of applications. What are the, let's say, top 3 use cases of AI across the two businesses? And I don't mean like, using ChatGPT to write a PRD or send a Slack message or respond to an email, but like in the product itself, right? A lot of people are using, AI for their own workflows, but it's a surprising few companies that actually get agents into production within their products. So that's what, everyone in the audience is interested in. How did you do that? What are those agents? Let's start there.
Before we go there, I mean, I have to say, as the person who is like always been on this like transformational part of things, before that it was just transformation from the offline to online, then data transformation, now it's AI transformation. It's always about the buzzwords, and I hate it. I mean, now AI became buzzword. Before that, big data was a buzzword, and so for me, it's not about the technology. It's always about the business goals that you're trying to achieve, right? So, and you use technology that you have that is available to you to solve the problems that you have, and that's it, nothing else. So, one of the biggest problems that we had in Fluxy is that in order to create a digital product passport, we need to ask a lot of questions about a product, right? And when we're talking about the smaller companies, in most cases, they will not have those information in any structured way, or this will be very different structured way that they can read, but not anyone else. So we're like, okay, but what is the most structured place where they have this information? And to our surprise, the most structured place is actually the product, the information on the product. So I don't know if it's a pack of chips, you'll have all the nutritions, all the facts, all the fraction, all of it on there. But they don't have any other place where it is. So we're like, okay, let's use AI. Let's ask them just to make a picture of it, and let's build the agent that will just extract the information that we need and populate it in the proper places. So we will not need to ask like hundreds of questions. We'll just ask 5 follow-up questions of the information that we're missing, and that's it. So it will simplify the process for like 95% for the users. And that's exactly what we did. That's exactly where we implemented the first AI solution into it. With Vama, obviously, the first thing is the customer support. But I think I don't know. Within the financial world, there is several places which I can't even imagine that can be sustainable without AI nowadays. First of them is the transaction monitoring, like a sanction screening, all of that, because the rules there are changing so fast, so dramatically. If you'll just put a person there, it's enormous amount of work, and they will do enormous amount of mistakes. Yes, we are talking about human in the loop kind of AI, but nevertheless, that's AI. So all the transaction monitoring is automated, all the sanction screening is automated with AI. The the customer care is the second part of it, because the way customers communicate, and we have customers around the globe. They communicate in different languages. I can either hire people or use Google Translate or any other tools of translation, which will be very accurate, or I can use AI that basically takes all the internal documentation that I have. It can tell the customer about something that is not yet launched, but we have a plans, like a certain determined like dates in the plans. He can help in many cases. Right now, we have almost 75% resolution by AI agent with every single like within the customer care, which is great. So those two are the first ones, but that's not where the fun is. The fun is actually inside those personalization tools. But that's something that we're still working on. We're going to start with something relatively simple, like um, the easiest use case that we're working on is the bill splitting. Let's say you and four of your friends went to lunch together and someone paid, right? So now the person who paid need to be the one who will ask the friends for money. That's an awkward position to be. And let's say you forget about it, and you are the one who've been notified that you forgot to pay someone else, that your friend back. That's an awkward position to be. So why have this awkwardness in between friends when you can just have AI, just send him a picture of a bill, tell that I'm the one who paid it, deal with it. And then all those conversations about how are we splitting evenly? Do you pay itemized? And what happens if someone paid like a percentage and someone else paid itemized and you end up with $3 extra? What you gonna do with it? Do you have another conversations on sending that back? AI can handle all of it. And no awkwardness. You're still friends. You're not talking about the money, but the money is there where you want it to be. So that's a very, very simple use case of an actual AI implementation. But it's really endless. We can create a space where you can launch your own AI agent on tracking the favorite goods online. We can give him a means of payment communication that will be fully controlled by you. So he will not spend a penny on hookers or whatever the AI want to do. You will control over that. So yeah, that's like a field of endless possibilities there.
Yeah, and sometimes the simplest use cases are still the most valuable. Tell me a bit more about, you mentioned that your customer support bot has a 70% resolution rate. Measuring if AI is performing well is one of the biggest challenges that people are starting to get to now. Now that they have something in production, they've tested it locally, they've run through their ideas of their own golden data set of what they think could go wrong. But then you put it in front of your users and they start using it in a much different way. How have you measured that? Is it custom analytics? Do you have an evals tool? How do you keep track of how these are performing? Not just like, is the agent running? Did it do the LM call? But like, to your point, at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. You care about the business and product outcome. So how do you tie those things together for these new agents that you're building?
For most of the self-developed AI tools, of course, you need evaluation tools built in. And that's not something that you can run once and you're happy with it. No, because like you need to make sure that your AI did not went off track, and sometimes that happens. I've seen that many times. So with the customer care, it's a little bit more accurate because you have a customer satisfaction. So basically, you have a customer resolution. So when customer comes with a problem and he says, "Yeah, I got my answer," and he's not coming back, I know that the it was resolved. Obviously, that makes zero sense to oversee 100% of those conversations, but yes, we do that. Partially, we review them. We're making sure that everything is communicated in the tone of voice that we want, with the accuracy that we want. But the most important metric in a customer case, the customer resolution, which is basically you have all those customers that will evaluate the quality of your AI resolution, which is very helpful. The same goes for the AI agent that we build for our customers on Foxy side, because basically you have your customers who in the end of the day will look at the result, the digital product passport that we'll get on their product and say, no, you track this incorrectly, and they will manually change it. If they do that, we track it, meaning that we need to look into the model to improve the work of the AI agent. So for us, when they manually change stuff, it's the metric that we use in order to identify the problems within the solution.
That's great. Yeah, and I'm curious, who is responsible for that, for combing through the conversations? Obviously, like you said, you don't review every single one, but it's still important, even if you have automated systems, to see, just like sometimes with digital products, you watch screen recordings, you don't just look at conversion rate summaries and things like that. Who do you have responsible for that? Is it you, head of product? Is it a product manager? Is it the engineers?
It's a combination of three. With the customer care, it's a combination of three different people, teams, whatever. There is people who do the customer care, so it's like a second line of defense. So all the cases that AI cannot resolve, they are moved to the actual human. So this human, at the time that he's not busy answering the actual questions, he can go and oversee and track all that. There is another team that takes care about tone of voice, messaging, the wording, and thesaurus, and basically creating the FAQs of a product. So they are doing that from their perspective. So they're looking into the specific words that we don't want to see in the communication. We'll look at the words that we do want to see in the communication. So they're tracking that. And obviously there is a product team that is constantly making sure that everything is in check. But product team is something that is always looking forward, never looking back. They don't like to do that. It's like a run and change. So I call them like a run people. They are. I'm just seeing that they're doing that less and less when they're satisfied with the result. But in the beginning, they were looking quite heavily on what they were building.
That makes sense. Yeah. And over time, do you have a way that as you start to see these sort of failure modes or these issues pop up as you're, evaluating them directly, are there ways to add tests in production? How do you think about that? Things like, you mentioned, is the tone of voice right? Is that something where you still need a human to kind of manually review the conversation? Or do you have ways to test that automatically in production?
Not yet. We're not at the scale where we can have a tools. So I can easily imagine that I have done the tools like that before, but we're not at the scale where we can implement that.
Makes sense. So it sounds like there's a phased approach. First, the product managers are developing a new product feature. They're going to be really involved in, evaluating, is this doing what we want? And then once they're happy with it, it's in production. Now, like that second line of defense, the CS team is there evaluating product, kind of fades into the background. And then eventually, once there's, huge scale and you can't manually review everything, you might set up like suites of tests for this. Does that sound about right?
Yes, exactly
Great.
right.
Awesome. Well, it's been really interesting learning more about all these broad different use cases of agents. I want to throw your websites up on the screen for a second, and you can tell everyone a little bit about like what's the best way to follow along with Vama and with Fluxy. Who are the types of customers that or users that you're looking for? I'll start with Vama first. Let me just share my screen, and you can kind of give us a bit of the context on who this is for and how to get access or how to get involved.
With Vama, that's pretty easy. You just go to the App Store or Google Play and download an application. Right now, you will see mainly the communication suite, so it's just like another messenger. Wallet is still friends and family, so you can get to the whitelist here, sign up for the whitelisting, and we will do that soon. But I hope in a very short time we will open for everybody, and everybody can have the wallet and start sending money here. We also opening wallet right now in 2 other markets. I'm not gonna say which ones, but it's really close south friends from the States. We're gonna start from those markets, and obviously we have a plan of going globally and allowing our customers to send money cross border to everywhere we have our licenses. So with Vama, that's very easy. It's already launched and everything. With Fluxy, that's the product that is built for those smaller e-commerce, smaller players in the Europe that want to be compliant with the digital product passports. They can go here, tap and talk to our team. We have like a very simple price plan. We basically built for those SMEs, and we also work with larger corporations, but that's more of an integration. They have ERP systems that we need to integrate with. But yeah, just a reminder for all those smaller players that starting next year and in some industries the year after that, no products in Europe should be sold without a digital product passport. So come to us and we'll help you to be compliant.
Awesome. That's a huge value prop if it's going to be a requirement across the board. So sounds like you guys are positioned in a good place at the right time. So, well, it's been great talking to you, Alex. Impressive everything that you're juggling all at once across these 2 businesses and how you guys are actually building AI in production. And I think a key theme that I took out of it is this idea of iteration. Stay focused on the business outcome and then build features one step at a time. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of other AI features on the roadmap, and those are going to come out kind of in phases, but you're really staying focused on building things that actually matter to the user and not so much just throwing it into the product just because. So I think that's a good takeaway for everyone. And yeah, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Let's keep in touch.
Bye now.